is up, you guys? Gold Pony here today in the 2017 Volkswagen Golf GTI, courtesy of Faulkner Volkswagen in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Love this car in the automatic version in 2016, and today I have the 6-speed manual, so this ought to be fun. And so anyways, starting with pricing, there are a few different trim levels. First one being the S, that one's going to go for $25,595. Next one being the SE, that one's going to go for $30,890. Then there is the Sport, that one's going to go for $27,995. And lastly, the Autobahn, that one's going to go for $34,085. And so, but regardless of the trim level, that power is going to be the same. It's going to come from a 2-liter turbocharged and intercooled 4-cylinder engine, putting out 210 horsepower, 4,500 RPM. By the way, 220 horsepower in the Sport and Autobahn trims, and 258 pound-feet of torque at 1,500 RPM. And that power is going to be sent to the front wheels, like I said, through your choice of either a 6-speed manual, which is what I have today, or a 6-speed DSG automatic transmission. And the DSG is definitely fun as well. I got the chance to experience that one last year. Anyways, you might be thinking that doesn't have the most horsepower in the world. How can it be fast? And the answer to that is because it has a curb weight of 3,086 pounds. So this thing is light. As far as MPGs go, that's going to come in at 24 in the city, 32 on the highway. Premium fuel is recommended for maximum power, of course. And another thing I want to mention to you guys, there is a couple different driving modes on this one. That button is going to be located just to the left of the shifter, but there is normal, and there is Sport, and of course you can customize your own different driving modes if you want to as well. There is that option. But for now, we're going to put it in Sport mode, and once I come to a stop here, we're going to see how quickly we can get the Golf GTI up to speed here. This thing is definitely pulling hard. You can feel the front wheels spinning in first gear. That's so much fun. That once you hit second gear, this thing is pounding pavement. Anyways, back to those driving modes. Basically what they're going to do is adjust the firmness of the suspension. By the way, that suspension does come with a Sport suspension with front McPherson struts and a fully independent 4-link rear suspension. So again, you pair that up with the extremely lightweight vehicle this is, and it's so much fun. But then as far as visibility goes, I can see perfectly fine out the back. It's not like this is a big car with huge blind zones. I have no issues with rear visibility. Side visibility is perfect as well. And since I do have the manual, I do want to mention to you guys, not only is this manual extremely smooth shifting, it's very easy to drive. Definitely a nice manual to learn how to drive manual on as well if you wanted to do that. But also, the shift knob on the manual on the Golf, very fittingly, has a golf ball as the shifter. How freaking cool is that? But then as far as the exterior goes, up front there is going to be that black front grille with the honeycomb mesh, and there's the red accent since we have the GTI as well. That definitely looks good, along with the GTI badging, can't forget that. And then anyways, to the sides of all that, there is halogen headlights with chip resistant lenses, and on the Sport trim and the Autobahn, those halogen headlights are going to be swapped out for bi-xenon HIDs. Then anyways, all trims are going to get daytime running lights. There are LED fog lights as well on all trims. Then swinging around to the side, there are Sport side skirts. That definitely looks awesome. There are heated side mirrors with integrated turn signals, and on the Sport trim only, those side mirrors are going to be covered in black. Other than that though, on every other trim level, those side mirrors are going to be body colored, same color as the car. But as far as the wheel design goes, what you're looking at right there are the 18-inch Austin alloy wheels with all-season performance tires, and just behind them there are 4-wheel disc brakes with those awesome red painted calipers. GTI logos on the front, definitely looks good. And then finally swinging around to the back, there is that integrated rear spoiler, and just below that a dual exhaust setup, and as always, here is that exhaust clip. Since we're around back, I wanted to show you guys this. This is so freaking sweet. At least when I first saw this, I thought this was awesome. The Volkswagen emblem in the back is actually how you're going to open that rear hatch, and also when you put the car in reverse, the emblem is automatically going to open up because that's where the reverse camera is. So it's like some James Bond stuff right there. It's pretty freaking cool. Anyways, after you open up that rear hatch, cargo capacity is going to come in at 22.8 cubic feet. And if that wasn't enough, of course, I did fold down those rear seats. There's a ton of extra space there if you needed it. But then putting those those back seats back up, hopping around to the back, the rear legroom comes in at 35.6 inches. So for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. My knees were not rubbing up against the front seats. I definitely had plenty of room, no issues there. And for those rear passengers as well, I think it's worth mentioning, there is a fold-down rear armrest with a couple cup holders in there too. Then jumping up to the front, you of course have your choice of either cloth seating, which is going to have that Clark plaid finish, which is awesome if you ask me. And then there's also the leather finish, which is what I have today. And that seating does come heated, and it is 8-way power adjustable. And then to go with that, the steering wheel is tilt and telescoping, so between the two, you definitely should have no issues finding your perfect driving position. Also, when it comes to the steering wheel, as if you guys didn't notice already, it does have a flat bottom. There is the GTI etched into that flat bottom, also very nice. And it is leather wrapped with red stitching as well to tie in with the rest of the red accents throughout the car. And of course, if this was the DSG automatic, there would be paddle shifters right behind the steering wheel as well. But then overall interior quality, I always like to touch on this. There is a carbon fiber look throughout the car, and as far as the dash goes, that is a soft touch leather, also very nice. There is a panoramic sunroof on the SE trim and up, and by the way, I'm not sure if I even said it yet, this Golf I'm in today is an SE trim, in case you guys are wondering. Anyways, as far as the windows go from the driver's position here, everything is one touch, so even the rear windows, they're one touch. All you got to do is hit it once, and the reason I emphasize that is because usually the driver's window is the one touch and everything else you had to hold down. So all windows on the Golf are one touch. Very nice. Then as far as the startup goes, in order to start the vehicle, all you got to do is keep the key on you. And by the way, this key is freaking awesome. It is very heavy duty. Like, it's a very heavy key, probably because the metal part on the bottom here, well, I'm going off screen, but there's GTI logo on the back, and then on the other side, of course, you have your lock, unlock, and you can pop the trunk as well. And there's the switchblade key, of course, as well. But anyways, put the key in the cup holder or keep it in your pocket. It doesn't really matter. All you need to do is put your foot on the brake or the brake and clutch if you're in the manual like I am. Hit that engine start button, and then upon start it, there is going to be that Volkswagen logo front and center between the speedometer and tachometer. Tachometer's on the left, speedometer's on the right. And of course, in the center, there's going to be a little digital display. There's a couple different things you could scroll through there. Of course, there's the digital speedometer. That's what I would leave it at. There's oil temperature, there's your fuel economy, average miles per gallon, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, or you can view through your audio settings. There's a compass if you wanted that. There's your Bluetooth information. There is a lap timer and a couple other things as well. Then also worth mentioning, there is a USB port directly in front of the shifter there, and there are two 12-volt outlets. One's directly behind the shifter, the other's in the center console here, so in case you need to charge anything, they're there for you as well. But now, the fun part is where all the tech is at, front and center, and so that is going to be a 6.5-inch touchscreen display. Of course, there is the Volkswagen CarNet App Connect. Basically, what that's going to do is you can pair your phone to the car, and then you can display certain apps on your phone up on this screen. For instance, Google Maps. If you wanted to display the navigation instead of on your phone, up on the screen here. But then there's of course a bunch of different audio settings. You can check out the radio settings, and once you've paired your phone to the car, you of course can stream Pandora as well. By the way, since I'm talking about audio here, there is an 8-speaker sound system, so let's check that out. Yeah, so I gotta say, out of all the cars I've reviewed today, this one by far has the most bass. 21 Pilots definitely sounds awesome in this thing. Probably Brandenburg Concerto number 4 would also sound just as good, but the audio system in this one is definitely very extremely nice. And now let's go back to listening to 21 Pilots. Then also another thing worth mentioning is when you hit the vehicle status, there's actually a performance monitor that displays on the screen as well, so you can track your G-forces, your PSI, since this is a turbocharged engine. That's definitely pretty freaking sweet. But last thing I wanted to mention on the screen is when you of course put it in reverse, and by the way, to put the Golf manual in reverse, you simply press down on the shifter, slide it into the upper left hand corner, and of course that Volkswagen logo is going to fly out there, and then you'll be able to see what's behind you. Make sure you don't go running anyone over. But then anyways, that of course segues me into safety. So to start, like I said, there are anti-lock brakes with 13.4-inch vented discs up front and 12.2-inch ventilated discs in the back. There is electronic brake force distribution, engine braking assist, and hydraulic brake assist. There's electronic stability control and front side and side curtain airbags. Of course, it's the tire pressure monitoring system. There's child door locks in the back. And lastly, there is latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children. That's for the car seats, of course. Anyways, that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Be sure to like the video and subscribe. Feel free to check me out on social media right there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay gold! So as always, Here is that exhaust clip. Wow, I can't snap. Ugh, I have dirty fingers. Take 2. There's electronic brake force distribution. And then upon startup, there is going to be that Volkswagen logo. And then upon startup, there is going to be that Volkswagen loco. Why do I keep saying loco? The gadget is that loco, you know? In case you guys wanted to see some other colors, yeah, there's white, there's a gray, some dark blues, a little gray, red, and a couple more.